am Nana Ansah Kwao IV, Chief of the Little Republic of Akwemu Edumasan. And I say thank God it's Monday. Another God-given opportunity for us to meet up and to perform one of radio's most important rituals. A ritual that brings patrons together, a ritual that provokes us to get us thinking to be better. Get us to be better. A ritual for nation lovers. Welcome to the ritual I call That's My Opinion. Right here on Joy 99.7 FM every Monday at the same time. And so let us all gather and make truth good. Our topic today, folks. Leaders or followers, who caused our bane? Leaders or followers, who has caused these problems that we face in our dear nation today? Leaders saying that the citizens are undisciplined, and the citizens are saying leaders are corrupt. But this is where we find ourselves. So who caused it? Folks, one thing is certain, and it's a belief held by many. Even though it may not be written or a convention, not said anywhere, not law, not a policy. Folks, the knowledge and the notion that Ghana should be better than what it is now is not a question to be debated about. I'm sure even if you meet somebody in class 6 today, they would tell you that somehow they know that this nation can be better than what it is today. It's not debatable. Folks, the potential and the positioning of Ghana is very enviable. Folks, the resources deposited in our lands are just in abundance. And indeed, folks, if development was a meal, I can confidently say that every ingredient needed to prepare it is right here, in abundance. Every ingredient needed to prepare development, if it was a dish, is right here. Folks, we even have tribal and religious harmony. You didn't hear me. I said we even have tribal and religious harmony. A very rare attribute and a unique blessing that we shouldn't take for granted. All that is left for us to do is to manage our population growth and aim for the sky, and we'll go past it. All that we have to do, slow down the babies coming in on a yearly basis and aim for the sky, and we'll just get there. Folks, even though it's much easier, and I know it's much easier to run the country from behind the mic. I know all that. It's easier. Just come and stand here every 1 hour. Then you go. Because in reality, managing people is not a simple task. But folks, even though I'm just blabbing behind the mic and I understand that maybe, but there are certain structures that are not rocket science, which we should be accomplished in by now. There are certain things, folks. There are certain basics. That's not rocket science. Folks, the world has moved on so much. History has been rewritten. Experiences have been documented in details. Folks, with the benefit of hindsight and the absence of war, what is the reason for failure? No, please, you didn't hear me. There's history to guide us. There are ample examples of how nations failed and how nations succeeded. They are there, documented. Some are even in movies. There's free information available to all at the click of a button if you have a smartphone. You don't even need a supercomputer. And so I am asking that, blessed with the benefit of hindsight, in the midst of peace, what do you tell posterity? How do we explain our failure? Default button, COVID, Russia, Ukraine. They've always been at it. Why do our roads wash away 2-3 years after they've been done? Why are children begging on our streets and increasing on a daily basis? Why do we have very little share in our own resources that are being dug out from here? Why are we depleting our forests, destroying our environment and our alarming rate? Unexplained instant wealth of government appointees. Folks, I may sound simplistic, but what really stops us from expanding our toll? What really is the hindrance here that we can't expand toll? I don't know. It's not in my field. In any case, in whatever state it is now, what stops us from refining the capacity to which it can? Because we have some crude oil. It's strange. It's a strange phenomenon. And so, yes, I'm saying I'm sounding simplistic. I'm trying to run the country from the mic. But if we leave the mic and we go to the boardroom and we go and, cabinet meetings, I wish I was a fly on the wall. All the 19 ministers. What really is on the table that says that because of A or because of B, maybe the signs of expanding refineries are finished? Maybe the transport, to bring the crude to the refinery is broken down. I don't know. But what stops us? So that at least the ease on the city and the rise and everything which is literally affecting all of us could be mitigated. So that in this crisis, and we are in the crisis from the top, not just from the mic, from the top, we accept that we are in a crisis. So in our crisis state, why haven't we moved that at least maybe some 10% or 8% of demand of the dollar would vanish because we'll get it right from here? I don't know. Folks, if we plant tomatoes in January, by March, we shall harvest. Plant rice in January, by March, you'll be cooking your jollof. Folks, if you stand on the hills of Kwao IV and you cast your eyes down and look down at the Afram plains and the river Afram, huge river, just flowing into the sea, and virgin lands lying left and right of it. Again, and then we put pressure on the good old city, importing the very things that we should have been exporting. So there's land, ample acres and acres and hectares of land. It's scary, flat. And there's a huge river running in the middle. Now my basic agric tells me irrigation. Just irrigation. I don't care who owns the land. Whoever it is, take it, give them royalty. That's all. Every landowner be a kakarobeta frinope. Take the land, cultivate it. Whoever owns it, give them royalties. It will bring jobs to his community or her community, and so they're not even going to complain. But it's there, folks. It's there. So whereas we have to be exporting tomatoes and exporting onions and exporting all these things because of the land, no. We are rather importing it, and then we sit here and then we are crying. Folks, forgive me for sounding condescending this evening and maybe even patronizing, but maybe that's exactly my point today. Maybe that's what I want to do. I want to patronize you. Because indeed, if we know all this, and yet we watch leaders who are not delivering. Yes, I'm not saying leaders haven't done anything. Yes, I might 1 or 2. But the sum total, I know when I say sum total, people ring in and then start making comparisons. Oh, and this person did this and that person did that. Fine. Where are we now? I look at it from the sum total. We haven't delivered. The sum total, we have not delivered. Folks, we the followers, we constantly divide ourselves, back whoever we want to back to the hilt, blind loyalty, foolish loyalty, whatever you may call it. And then we stick and stay. Folks, I find this very interesting. I mean, currently the finance minister is facing his Sahinri. Now, I remember before he went to his vetting, the NDC side of the house were adamant that this guy would never go through vetting. It will never pass. Then they passed. I remember the show I did after that. Forgotten the title, trying to find it. That don't come back and tell us that this guy is not good enough. Don't pass this guy and turn around and come and tell us that he's borrowing too much, he's doing this. Did he just walk into the office? And then the very people who sat and mysteriously approved him now come back and tell us, oh, he's not good enough. Folks, they were adamant. Yet he sailed through. As if I knew. Should I be a prophet? I will be because I'm a prophet. You know, Cabana. And your collection, Kakro. Come in your collection, Kakra. Folks, maybe we should keep quiet and save our own energy. There's not enough food in the market. There's enough food, but there's not enough money in the market. So maybe we should keep quiet and save energy. Because given the chance, are we willing to make anything different? Think about it. Given the opportunity, are we willing to change anything? And I'm sure if Bros Barbecue gets in right now, he's going to say, Nana, I've been saying this thing all over. Oh, say, you vote MPP, you vote NDC, you vote M, and this is now. If somebody was to come and say, I'm an independent candidate, and he calls out, will you reach out? I doubt it. So the leaders will come, and as usual, they will think of self, they will think of party, and if there's any time left, they will think of nation. They have never hidden that from us. Folks, they have never hidden that from us. You see political parties and the sentiments. You can see it is more self than party than nation. It's not written, but it is there. It is there. You know, they think the interest of the party before they think of the interest of the nation. But guess what? We, the people, will still back them. So now, folks, I am asking, is it the leaders we get or the followers we are? The jury is still out. 0302 216 541. Good evening.
I'm Nana Kwao IV.
Nana Kwao IV, let me hear you.
Okay, your question. Straight here. I think it's bold. It's bold. There's been a pattern of how we choose our leaders. They always take, so if somebody wants to be elected into power, he or she takes advantage of that trend and hoping that followers will buy into the idea, which they do all the time, and they put them into power. So when they come, they are there and they are supposed to do what they are supposed to do. Then the very people that who back them there now says that, hey, this is not what you promised us. So, for example, discipline. To enforce discipline becomes an issue because you try to do that and you are flagged. Who dear, Yano Gianne, who yes say, So, it all boils down to leadership, Nana, because there's a reason why we give the nation's power, the nation's resources to someone to make sure that things happen. So regardless of your interest as a citizen, the leader is supposed to make sure that you are shipped in line and the leader also doing the right thing. However, it doesn't happen. So aside the fact that I'll blame both, I'll say it boils down back to the leadership.
Thank you very much. Hello, and who's talking to me?
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Shem
Shem, I need your take on this one.
You already know my take, but I'll still repeat it. Nana, brilliant submission as usual. Ubo me didn't feel when I'm saying, in the day, I friend. Nana, Ghana phone in now, Pachamoma Maso. We cannot say our best options are MPP and NDC. See, any Ghanaian listening to me right now, please, we will not die when we vote outside MPP and NDC. Listen, these are people who are clueless. I have 3 words I use for them. They are mediocre, myopic, and they are misguided. And it runs in both. MPP will come, do one. NDC will come, do 1.5. And want the whole country to applaud the half. Plus, we have all the resources to get to 1,000. Nana, space exploration was started in 1945 or so. They started going out of the Earth's atmosphere, and we are still here. We can't plant. But Charlie, see, Nana, for me, I just want to see Ghanaians just do that for 4 years. Yeah, for my independent candidate. Since now they've decided to disqualify all the other political parties. Yeah, for my independent candidate, Nana, it's not rocket science they are doing. See, Nana, they might make us think it's difficult, but Nana, it's not difficult. We have people in Ghana who can run agric ministry. We have people in Ghana who can run finance ministry. They don't need political ties. They don't need political affiliations. We have them. Nana, to think about it, why do we advertise government positions in the newspapers? I need agric minister. If you have this, submit your CV. We give like 1 week. We do vetting. Nana, we can all see this. It's not rocket science. They just make it look like it's difficult. But Nana, it's not difficult. But Ghana phone in Nadia, maybe 2024. Let's not do MPP and DC. And don't sit on the fence either. Because the moment you sit on the fence, they would, in quotes, pay people to vote for you. They will decide for you. So let's not do that. Let us vote them out. Do for an independent candidate and I dream with that 4 years pay. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I'm mixing your boy. Hello, who's talking to me?
Hi, Nana. Good evening.
Good evening.
How are you?
I'm very well. Who am I talking to?
And my name is Justice.
Justice, let me hear you.
Yes, so Nana, for me, I think leadership is key.
Mm-hmm.
In our small community, in our homes, in our offices, and in the country at large, the kind of leaders you have will determine the attitude of the followers. So Nana, at home, if the father is a drunkard, you are likely to have the children doing the same. If the father is, you are likely to have the children following the steps of the father. And so if our country is being governed or led by people who are corrupt, leaders who don't do the right thing, I'm sorry, don't expect the followers to do anything better. Thank you. Have a nice evening.
Thank you. 0302 216 541. 0302 216 541. Hello, who's talking to me?
Hi, I'm Sly, Nana.
Sly.
Yes, sir.
Let me hear you.
So I couldn't agree less with the caller who came before just this one
Mm-hmm.
to voting out NDC and NPP. I want to add up to it. We don't need to vote just NDC and NPP out. We need to vote. We need to be mindful of the kind of people we vote into parliament too, because our problems goes beyond the physical. Our problem is partly and highly constitutional. We need changes in the constitution, and some of these things is done and mostly initiated in parliament. So once we are voting out NDC and NPP, we should also start thinking of voting out. We should also start thinking of bringing in people who are willing to make sure that when we initiate the changing of the constitution, they will be in for it and they will work on it for it to become fruitful. Or else, Nana, we can vote out NDC or NPP. Let's bring in an independent candidate. Let's say he or she has realized that the constitution needs to be redressed, needs to be amended. If Parliament is not buying into the idea and they are not working on it, this wouldn't happen. Adelaide, Nana.
Very true.
It wouldn't happen. So we are voting out NDC and NPP. That has to happen. But we should also vote out these political people out of Parliament. Honestly, we should be really, really mindful with the people we put in Parliament because they are part of the problem. They are part of the problem. Nana, good evening.
Good evening, and thank you for calling 0302-216-541. Hello, who's talking to me?
Yeah, good evening, and I hope you're doing well.
I'm doing well. Ajima and Joseph. I know this voice.
Yes, and forgive me if I go a bit wayward because I didn't start from the beginning.
Okay.
And I think we should blame the leaders. We should also blame we, the people at the grassroots. When you change NEC MPP, are you going to change the chief directors and the board of directors and those who are handling positions at our various institutions? Because the system has been such that the minister will come and meet the chief director. And they have lined up some procedures. If you don't follow, they will sabotage you. So that is the issue. But another issue that I blame the leaders is that when they go to the parliament, when the law is catching up on them, then they say majority will take their way. Whether it is good or bad, majority will take their way. So I think, in other words, we blame the leaders and we also blame those at the grassroots. That's my take on that.
Oh, you're all taking a part of the blame. 0302-216-541. Hello, who's talking to me?
Hello, Nana. Good evening. This is Edward, Kanswa Millennium City.
Let me hear you.
Okay, thank you very much. So, Nana, you are trying to find out whether it is the people or the leaders who are at fault.
Mm-hmm.
But first of all, let us go back to our 1992 Constitution. The first chapter of the Constitution talks about where the power, comes from. And it tells us that the power comes from the people.
Mm-hmm.
So with this power, we have the opportunity to go and elect leaders. So here, with my submission, I can see that the two of us, which is the leaders and the people, we are at fault. But the kind of leaders that we also opt for becomes the problem of the day. How can we elect a leader who must come and continue his or her predecessors' work and will come and leave it there? And we will not hold them accountable. So I am blaming the two parties, but then the leaders are more into this. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for tuning in and calling. Hello, who's talking to me?
Hello, Nana. How are you doing?
Very well.
Every now and then I call you. This is Kofi from Tesano.
Kofi, let me hear you.
Every now and then I always say to myself, I'm tired of calling on radio. But then again, you make me call.
I'm glad you tune in.
It's your fault. It's your fault that I'm calling.
No, your thoughts are needed.
Because I'm tired of a lot of things in the country. Nana, I have this philosophy of the sheep and the shepherd. It is the sheep that directs and protects or directs where the sheep must go and what they must do. When Ghanaians go to the United States, or Japan or UK. If you don't have to pee here, you don't pee there. It is the leadership and the system that puts people in place. So it is the shepherd. That means our leaders. If you have police who are just standing at corners and you cross a red light, they will not stop you, fine you. Things will not change. There's garbage everywhere. But I said the last time I called also that, look, we need a Jesus Christ, not a Jesus Christ and biblical, but we need a leader that will come and say, look, Galamsey, no more, this, no more, streets, this, and finally, look, all these ministers, let me take that Greek minister, it's 6 years or 7 years. Have he been able to even stop the importation of poultry? That we produce our own poultry, we produce our, feed for the poultry, just even one. You go to maize, he's not done nothing. Basically, it's the same from rolling, the same, we're recycling the same thing. Nothing has improved when it comes to agriculture, such that we say maize or plantain or yam, we are sufficient, we are not going to import, or rice. If he has stopped importation of rice and we are producing, you can see he's done something. It's basically nothing. The same with finance, the same with education.
Well, maybe
where do we go?
Maybe not,
you need a leader.
No, don't say nothing. Maybe not enough. Just say maybe he hasn't done enough. Maybe say he hasn't done enough, but maybe he's done something.
Something, but from Christy Botre, who has passed, my condolences to the family, from Rawlings to now, what is the improvement to Ghanaians and you, Nana, and me, and everybody else when it comes to rice, when it comes to poultry, when it comes, where are we? It is not there's something you have done. What is the outcome or the result?
Still importing. That's the thing. Still importing. Things that we should export, we are importing. I get you. Hello, who's talking to me?
My name is Steven. Steven from Tinkong.
Let me hear you. Hey, Steven in Tinkong.
Yes,
good to hear you
Nana.
today.
Nana, we have failed Ghanaians. Okay, in as much as we will blame the leaders, we, the followers, have failed Ghanaians. When we have the opportunity to meet with the politicians, we only ask them what we will get: the pampers, the rice, the oil. Those things we will consume in only few hours. That is what we are after. But instead of us asking policies they will put in place to make Ghana a better place for us, we do not ask those things. So, Nana, if you ask the question, for me, I can say that we, the followers, have failed Ghanaians. Thank you.
That's a strong one. If the power resides in the people, then maybe the people are the initial. Hello, who's talking to me?
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Kofi.
Kofi?
Yes, I'm calling from Kaswa.
Let me hear you, my brother.
Nana, you just talked about the Afram place and
Kofi,
the river
yeah,
Afram.
Yes, Kofi, lower your radio because I really want to hear your lower your radio set because I really want
And
to hear
the river Afram.
Yes.
Do you know that a vast land at the Afram plains has been given to the Chinese?
No, I didn't know. No.
Rawlings started developing or making rules through the Afram plains so that we can make use of the land. After Rawlings, no one has done anything in the Afram plains concerning the roads.
Wow.
Why should we be importing tomatoes if we have the lake to irrigate the land? Why should we be importing onions? Why should we be importing rice? You see, it is leadership. It is leadership. They must give us the direction. When I started schooling, in every school, the children are more than the teachers, but they are able to control the children because there are measures in place and they see to it that they work. If you do not go according to the measures they have put in place, you'll be punished. And parents agreed with the teachers to control the students. So if you are leader leading the nation and you have no direction, we talk about Malaysia. We started with Malaysia. Malaysia came to pick palm nuts from this place. Today, look at Malaysia. We don't have any direction. I don't know. Illiteracy is not the problem in this country, but literacy, the academia, academic dishonesty, something that is not supposed to be defended. That is what we do. A lot of bureaucracy. See, so I do not know. I think that we cannot blame the people because we give power to leaders and direct us to where we want to go. And they fail us.
Thank you so much for that call. 0302216541. Hello, who's talking to me? Kojo, let me hear you.
And so, I hate to say this, but there's nothing new in the topic.
No. That's the sad thing. You know that I've come here with some wild wisdom. Be ready. So why are we in this quagmire?
Because we keep pointing at everybody but ourselves.
We keep doing what?
Pointing at everybody but ourselves.
Okay.
If we want to change, regardless of your partisan position, that no leader has done anything. And when we do that, we're negative.
Mm-hmm.
When people are getting elected or go into political office and we try and stay clean, when they come in, who tells them? Who are the people who call these political leaders and ask them for favors in the minute they get elected? Mm-hmm. Even those who don't get elected, because they are connected to power, are called to ask for favors, to cut corners. We're always pointing at everybody. Look at football. Now we have to advertise to tell ourselves that we shouldn't be negative towards each other when we're playing in the World Cup. Who does that? Who goes around telling their citizens, be positive about us going to the World Cup? Except government. Why are we always negative to each other? There are policies out there for the young people, the youth to take up. Instead of taking it up, they're insulting leadership. Instead of saying, I've taken it up and these are the problems I face. And dealing with the problems, we throw insulting. So it's about us pointing things instead of dealing with our issue. There's a lot of positive in Ghana, but Ghanaians are not positive about it. When it comes to individuals, you think about tomorrow. You think about your child. You think about the building you must put up and all of that. When it comes to collective Ghana, we start fighting each other like mobs. We start fighting each other like crabs. When it comes to thinking about the collective Ghana, people even throw out words like, oh, we must be unified. When moves are made to unify us, simple things like football, we don't even get the protection. So it's us.
Thank you very much for that call, my brother. 0302216541. Hello, who's talking to me?
Hello, this is Kobna Nana.
Kobna, let me hear you. From USA?
Hey, Nana. Yes, sir.
Ojam, let me hear you.
Listen, since the past many years, we've been talking about all this.
Yes.
And I told you that we need to recruit you to be our leader, but you don't want to do it.
I'm leading from the mic.
Now,
pardon me? As I'm leading from behind the mic.
No, how can you lead from behind? No, you can't lead from behind. Nana, I believe your wife will disagree with you if you say you want to lead from behind. No, we've seen certain traits in you. you are a man of high ethical standard, right?
I try my best.
We know your wife. Your wife too has accomplished a lot in the media when she was with Ghana television.
Mm-hmm.
So when we say we want to recruit you so you can go to Accra, although you live in the eastern region, you can go to Accra, the Jubilee House, and lead us like the previous caller said. It's all about leadership. You know, it's all about leadership. It's about how are you going to control a proper control of the Ghanaian populace to rally behind you, right? Now, let me make. I don't want to go into. We don't have time, but I want to make the last point, Nana.
Yeah.
Can I do that?
Yes, please. Let me hear.
Okay. At at noon today on Joy FM, hosted by MFA Apau, she recounted where 3 Ghanaian leaders, Akufo-Addo, Bawumia, and John Mahama, over the weekend went to the churches, consoling Ghanaians about the hard economic crisis in the country. Right? Is that what leaders are supposed to do? We have the Bible says do everything at the right time. This is not the time for you to go to the churches and use biblical texts, misquote Bible to console Ghanaians. You should be doing the right thing.
Let me defend my president. You go where the people are. So if the people are in church,
yeah, but
if they are in a stadium, wherever they are, Charlie, at this time you have to go there.
Yeah, but Nana, this is a question. He said, is it the leaders we get or the people who follow?
Mm-hmm.
He said, is it the leaders that we get?
Or the followers we are.
Or the people who follow make the decisions. So the blame cannot be, it's a combination. It's both the leaders and then the people. The leaders have had a plan, a strategy to make sure that the people are not well informed, right? You understand, like you and I. So they will go to them and indoctrinate them and get them to follow them, right?
Ojam, let me disagree on this. I don't know. I don't know if it's deliberate or maybe it's a status quo that people don't necessarily want to change. I don't know if somebody comes and say, you know something, let's impoverish these people or let's make them ignorant. But if you come and meet them ignorant, maybe you don't, take necessary steps to, I don't know. Hello, who's talking to me?
Hello, good evening, Nana. Abu Muhammad is talking to you from Japan.
Let me hear you, my brother.
Yeah, you see, Nana, you've led from behind for several years, and there's no changes. Why not now come forward and lead from the front? And then sometimes some of the callers get me confused when they say we blame people but not ourselves. Let me make this example. The tractor driver paid everything that he must pay to drive on the road. He has done his part. Is it not somebody's responsibility to make sure the road is worth driving on? So why do we keep saying it is we? All of us cannot be leaders. All of us cannot go to parliament. So we selected the competent ones among us to go and provide that leadership. So, for instance, when they say we should clean our gutters, and we do that, then it is somebody's responsibility to make sure there is a car that collects the rubbish. It's not my responsibility anymore. Then it will be there till the rain send that rubbish back to the gutter again. So I don't get it when people say it is we ourselves. What have we done? We've done all we are supposed to do. We pay our taxes, the e-levies, we do all that. So it is somebody's responsibility. When you talk that, then you give them more opportunity to be doing what they are doing. You see, thank you very much, Nana.
Thank you too, my brother from Japan. National interest movement all the way. Condolences to one of our ardent listeners, Eugenia Sintimedi. His father passed just recently. And then not soon after, the mother also passed. Can you imagine? Both parents in a morgue. How she's coping, only God knows. 1 week observation of Mrs. Susanna Evelyn Nana Ansah Kwao Jankroma Sintimedi. Tuesday, 22nd November 2022, 9 a.m. prompt, venue Garrison Methodist Presby Church, Bama Camp, Accra. Attire is black. Let's all go and sympathize with the family. Tomorrow 9 Methodist Presbyterian Church, Bama Camp. The current trend is not sustainable. Believe you me, the current trend is not sustainable. There's a bubble that will burst. However, the opportunities to stop this bubble from bursting is like way too much. I mean, like way too much. So, the frustration is to sit and watch while you drive into a ditch, while you have your brakes, you have your handbrakes, you have turnings off before the ditch. I mean, you have everything, and yet you're just driving straight into the ditch. And I always tell you about the Pelican Brief when this guy walks into Denzel Washington's office and he's all bandaged up from head to toe. And he says, "What happened to you?" And he says, "Oh, I fell in a hole in the road." He said, "Really? There was no sign?" He said, "Oh, yeah, there was." "Oh, just one?" He says, "No." "Oh, so there was just 2 signs?" He says, "No." He says, 3? He says, "Yes." "Oh, okay. So you walk past the first, the second, the third, and you fell into the ditch?" The guy says, "Yes." He said, "Take my card. You have a case." Just with the officer, take my card. You have a case. Are we going to get to the stage where they'll say, "Tinagana, take this card because you have a case"? We have to get round the round table. We must get round the round table. Because come 2024, sorry, folks, come 2024, I don't believe, the constitution and the academia and, bro food be brain. I mean, that's just a bit fun. All we need is just common sense. All we need is just common sense. We don't want to go to the moon. We don't need nanotechnology. We're not going to start a new Facebook. No. Go and buy the nicest rice polishing machine in the world. Polish it. Let's eat it. Put tomatoes in the ground. Freeze some. Can some. Eat the rest. Put maize in the ground. Grows. We'll eat kenke. Feed the chickens. Feed the pigs. Whatever it is. The land is there. The water is there. The human beings are there. So it's just a matter of just say, you know something. Upo umpo. This is what we're doing. So come 2024, dear Joe, I'm telling you, we are voting for common sense. Unipano on Tibrofo, on Kolegonda, Kra, Yebetwaman. The Hians of Kazako Bay, go and plant. They're very intelligent, they're very eloquent, they're very funty. Mami is here to give you your news bulletin. Abeku was on the 1 and 2s. Kofi is all lined up to pray us some, forgiveness tune to forgive us our sins, to purge us. Until next Monday that I come back, I'll say until the lions have their own historians, tales of hunting would always glorify the hunter. Next Monday, God will, no, 2 weeks Monday, right? Because of football. So we're out for 2 weeks, going to catch some football, and then we'll be back to do this all over again.